to the Movie Throne. I'm your host, the one and only King Kansas, here to bring you another movie review and recommendation video right here on YouTube land. What movie I'm going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about The Patriot, starring Mel Gibson, Heath, the late great Heath Ledger, Jason Issacs, Chris Cooper, Lisa Brenner, Tom Wilkinson, Donal, Logue, you know him from Gotham if you don't know who that is, Adam Baldwin, J. Arlen Jones, Gregory Smith, Mika, Boorem, Trevor Morgan, Bryan, Chafin, Logan, Lerman, and who else am I forgetting here? Tcheky, Karyo, he plays Jean Villeneuve, he's a French guy in this movie, and that's pretty much it. It's about 2 hours and 48 minutes long. Like always, guys, I'll do a quick non-spoiler, which it won't be that much because I have to get into detail and kind of ruin it for you, but I'll give you a reason why you should check it out. Came out on June 27, 2000 from the Mutual Film Company. It's directed by Roland Emmerich, so I don't know exactly what other films he has done in the past, but he did a phenomenal job in this one. I forgot that it was close to 3 hours long. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like, I think, 2 hours and 48 minutes long. You know, honest to God truth, they could have trimmed 20 minutes from this film and I think it would have been a perfect time for it. You know, flow was pretty much decent from beginning to end. Actors are amazing. The way the movie opens up and kind of gives you an idea that it's during the Civil War, I believe, or the Revolutionary War between the Americans and the British. They were trying to separate and stuff like that, and they didn't want to get taxed, so it kind of got into that American history. You can read the books and find out all the details there. I'm not American after all, but I do love American history, British history, and of course Canadian, because, you know, we're Canadian. But it's amazing how it starts off from there, and it has a hesitant Mel Gibson father figure who, like, it appears that some tragedy has happened, and he's just wanted to be by himself, raise his kids, mind his own business. But like always, war slowly creeps into their lives and turns it all upside down. You got kids who want to join the war, kids who don't want to join the war at all, some kids that are young, some kids that are foolish. And like always, like all every parent, something tragic happens, and of course Mel Gibson gets into the fray and shit hits the fan. It's amazing how it was shot. For a film that was in 2000, man, you're looking at 20 years ago. It still holds up to now. Like, you can watch it and it's like, okay, cool, that movie was made at least 5 years ago. You know, that's that kind of feel, look to it, which is good. It hasn't aged badly at all. It aged well, let's just say that. Amazing from beginning to end. If you like American history, you'll love this film. The actors did all their jobs, from portraying a little bit of American history in it with a little bit spin. The English, the general on that side, oh my god, played by Mr. Issacs there. Holy shit, Chris Isaac, I think his name is. I'm not 100% sure, but he's such a douchebag, I'll tell you right now. Oh my god, he's something else, and he sparks what goes on in it. But overall, I highly recommend, if you haven't checked this, is one of Mel Gibson's and Heath Ledger's best performances in this film. You're going to love it. You're not going to be bored, even though it's almost 3 hours long. Trust me, it's well worth the watch. Okay, spoilers. Beginning of the film opens up with a bang. There's like some sort of war going on. And of course, Mel Gibson's character is this mysterious character who just kind of lost his wife. You see that he's raising his own kids, trying to mind his own business, trying to stay away from the war, keep his family away from the atrocities that he went through in the previous wars before that. It takes place during, I want to say, the Revolutionary War, the British versus the Americans, and they're trying to separate and keep their own colony, and the British are trying to, you know, put all their might on them. So it's kind of neat how that happens. The Redcoats against the Patriots, pretty much. But yeah, tragedy strikes. Of course, Heath Ledger's character doesn't listen to his father, decides he wants to join the war and kind of help his side, the American side, defeat the British so they can have this freedom that they all longed and deserved, kind of thing. You meet cool characters like the Reverend along the way. You meet that douchebag general played by Mr. Isaac. Can't remember his name. Chris Cooper's in it, so anything with Chris Cooper is usually an amazing. He plays the big general on the American side, of course, you had, oh my God, what's his name from the Ninja Turtles, Mr. Wilkinson. That's his name. He is General Cornwallis. He's the big Lord General in charge of the British side, and of course, Chris Isaacs is this guy who likes to go around and kill people, and he doesn't like to follow any rules. And unfortunately, one of Mel Gibson's younger son, he ends up stumbling on there during one of the battles, and he follows them there, and he doesn't want to give up his son, but they take him to go hang him. And then the younger son, who looks up to Heath Ledger's character, jumps right into it, and of course, he gets shot by this general, and that kind of sets Mel Gibson off on a loop-de-loop, like revisiting this ghost character that he did so much damage and everybody's scared shitless. And you've seen it literally when he goes to ambush with his two little sons who help him out, and he takes out 20 British Imperial soldiers, and then he ends up organizing a militia to kind of help out Chris Cooper's general there. He didn't want to join, but now he's forced because he wants to protect Heath Ledger's character, his son, from dying, because he's already lost one. So he does so. He joins up. He fights. He does his own little way. His son's by his side. They recruit, and of course the British get smart and they kind of like foil that plan. And then a lot of bad stuff goes down. Houses burned. Heath Ledger's character falls in love with this girl, gets married. She ends up getting killed, which kind of sets him off on his solo run, and that lends to pretty much his demise, his end. He goes after that general, that Mr. Isaacs' general goofball character there, and he gets killed. And Mel Gibson really loses it. He's ready to walk away from everybody, but then he kind of stumbles across this flag that's all tattered and battered up that Heath Ledger's character kept for the whole film. That's what he believed in. So that kind of sets him off to fight the last battle. They do so. They end up winning the war. The French end up showing up after all to kind of like surround Cornwallis's troops instead. There's nowhere to flee in the ocean because the French fleet's there. The American troops end up overtaking the last big battle, saving George Washington, apparently, from his demise. It's pretty neat. Amazing scenes. If you wanted to see epic battle scenes, you see cannonballs bouncing off and taking off people's limbs. This movie has it. Mel Gibson did an amazing performance. Heath Ledger did a great. All the supporting cast and the kids did a good job. Chris Cooper did well. Whoever was involved in the film, guys, pretty much did their job. Like I said, the only negative thing I could say about this is just 20 minutes too long. It's about 2 hours and 40 minutes long. Sorry, 2 hours and 50 minutes long. It could have been 2 hours and 30 minutes and it would have been fine. But it still didn't affect the flow in any way. It's just story developing. But from Mel Gibson's wife's sister being there, and he kind of falls with her later, to his daughter with that heartbreaking moment. Oh my God. If you don't feel anything from that scene when his daughter wasn't talking to him for a while, and then he's leaving for the last battle, and you know exactly what I mean, when he goes and she cries for him, your heart breaks. I don't give a shit. I don't care how tough you are. You're going to bawl. You're going to shed a tear, at least like the king. You felt something because that's your little girl, right? And she's like, shit, I think her name's Sarah. And she called him, don't go. She didn't want him to die, right? And that's why she kind of hated him because, you know, for being selfish. But he ends up losing 2 kids, Heath Ledger's character and whatever. And he still has like 4 or 5 kids. Pretty cool. The ending is amazing. They end up winning the war, and he kind of like gets the people who are in his militia. There's a black soldier and a white Mr. Bigot that end up being friends out of it because, you know, the whole slavery thing, which I agree 100%. Times have to change, and it still hasn't changed properly. So hopefully one of these years we'll get shit in gear and fix all the bigotry between us and racism and all that bullshit, you know, one of these days. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that, but it is a very important issue that needs to get done. I think adults in, you know, should have a brain or so. Anyways, but that is my Patriot movie review starring Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger. It's amazing. Thumbs up. I highly recommend it. You guys go down in the comment section and let me know. Have you seen this movie? It's at least 20 years old. This is the first time I've seen it in a decade. And honest to God, loved it. So I loved every minute of it. Just a little too long in my opinion, but I highly recommend it. It's a must-see movie if you haven't seen it. So get your butt on your couch, buy the damn thing like I did, and watch it. And of course, leave your comments in the comment section below, guys. And
Check out my other reviews. Like, share, and subscribe to the Movie Throne. Stay off the King's Throne. And I'll see you pretty damn soon. Take it easy.